State.
The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time. It's Thursday. It's Korner Booth pregame.
You ready? No debate, cause it's all. I'm too official, got the drip, I got the sauce. Bring the proof when it's time to tell the truth. I'll be at the corner booth, find me in the corner booth, yeah. Still standing and defiant. Slay the competition, cause I'm walking like a giant. Bring the proof when it's time to tell the truth. I'll be at the corner booth, find me in the corner booth, corner booth.
I see myself. Kate, I feel like I have not officially said this. I've tiptoed around it. Kate, will you marry me?
Do I have to answer now? Or?
No, you have time. You can think about it. You can think about a way to say no without hurting my feelings if you want.
Oh
Lovely. I'll send you a letter.
Just don't even.
Right, cool. Thank you. Shit. I'll send you my address later so you can send it to my house.
Yeah, I'm never giving you my address. I don't want you getting that close.
Oh, I know.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into another edition of the Korner Booth pregame. I'm your host, Jared Klim, alongside these two handsome gentlemen, Matt Ordazzo and the lit man himself, ladies and gentlemen, Mason Rutch. We got a good show today. We have a returning guest because this kid can never stay away from us. DJ Stewart of High Low Sports will be joining us in about 30 minutes or so. I texted Matt and Mason before the show, hey, who's the most reliable guest we have? And I'm like, this guy is more reliable than a Honda Accord with its oil freshly changed or an AK-47 with a full box of ammunition. Ain't nothing stopping this kid. He will always be, when we need him, he rises to the occasion. Either way, we have college basketball starting up. Mason will periodically give us scoring updates because that is he is damn good at it.
Got you.
We'll be predicting our Final Four teams tonight. We'll be talking some NFL free agency news because, of course, it never stops. Also, we'll talk about, I'll talk about the World Baseball Classic. I also want to just shit on Chris Russo for about 20 minutes, but, I'll save it for 5. I hate that old fogey so much. Every time he's on ESPN, I want to slap him. Like his takes actually anger me. Like, I'm like, dude, you are the worst. How do you have a job? And also just other fun shenanigans because, it's us. Come on. It's a Thursday and Mason's drinking tonight. So we know it's going to be a fun time. Either way, Mace, what's the current score of Michigan State, K-State right now?
So we've got 26-22 Spartans with a little under 5.5 to play in the first half. Now it's 26-25.
There you go.
Spartans.
Very nice. Very nice. We'll get periodic updates from Mason throughout the episode. Of course, the show ends at 8:30, obviously, but also you will be getting our bold bet predictions. I plan on placing some bets during the show today. We're going back to my degenerate days during football season. College basketball brings that to me, I swear to God. Either way, boys, how's your week going so far?
I mean, I can't complain. I mean, I'm losing people. I'm adding people. Football wise, obviously, I'm actually not worried. This is the first football season where I'm actually chilling. Not worried about what's going on.
Matt, I know you want to talk Korner Booth Dartboard. We'll wait until DJ gets here to do that.
Nice.
I will probably do. Have either of you guys? I don't know. You guys Star Wars fans at all? Because I'm going to do a Mandalorian little nod in about 5 minutes. No, you don't care. Maddie, you caught up? Do you watch it all? No.
No, I don't watch Mandalorian. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I watched the first season, Jared, like back in. Was that like early 2020, late 2019?
It was 2020, early 2019.
So I saw that, dude. But after I finished the first season, man, and then COVID hit, and I just like moved on to like other shows.
Listen, fair enough. See, in my house, in like my family, my house, like Star Wars is
king,
part of our life. Like literally behind me, I have 3 different Star Wars bobbleheads in my collection. I got Chewie, the Mandalorian, and Boba Fett back there. I've got a 3x5 Mandalorian flag hanging on my wall. I've got like Star Wars replica stuff all over my house. And like I'm getting a Star Wars insignia tattooed on my forearm. It's like I love that shit so much. So to me, Star Wars was like an essential part of my childhood. So it's a little different to me, but there's a part of the Mandalorian. I guess I'll start off with it because spoilers if you have not watched the Mandalorian yet. I don't know if you guys have ever heard about episode 1, The Phantom Menace, the somewhat panned either you like it or you don't first installment of the sequels, the prequels. The actor who played Jar Jar Binks, the bumbling kind of comedy relief, it was just a bad character. The actor who played him, Ahmad Best, was basically bullied into almost committing suicide. Like, Star Wars fans are notorious for being horrible human beings. Like, they bullied almost half the actors from the sequels that, like, off of social media. None of them had anything to do with the writing or the shows. They weren't bad actors. They just had bad writing. Either way, so in this episode of The Mandalorian, Ahmad Best plays a very pivotal hero role in the episode, and I have seen nothing on the internet but like redemption arc, Ahmad Best's story arc. He's back, return. Like, gotta love this Return of the King, yada yada yada. And I'm like, you know what? This makes me so happy. This really makes me feel good because it's kind of cool seeing a guy who basically had his life ruined because he took one role in the 1990s. He finally, in the series that destroyed his life, takes it back. It was kind of a cool story. So shout out to Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni and Carl Weathers, who directed the episode, for just doing an awesome job and incorporating this guy into it. And it was really cool.
I've got a couple of friends, Jared, that dude, I mean, even to this day, like I'm 23, my friends for the most part are 22, 23, 21, kind of in that area, 24. So I'm a little bit younger than you guys, but I have a few who are just like not only Star Wars people, but also just kind of big on Marvel. Just that whole sort of like cinematic universe. And I don't know, man, not trying to be the mature guy here, but I can't, look, I like Star Wars movies just as much as the next guy, right?
I think he had a rant going. This can actually pick up. I thought he just like zoned into the game.
I thought he was finishing his point, and then I was like, oh wait, no, he's just stuck.
Yeah, no. If he's gonna go on some rant about how like Star Wars is immature, I'm like, oh, just go away.
I was gonna say this whole time I was trying to get into Twitter. There we go.
He's back.
Oh,
is he alive? Oh, nope, he's muted.
There he is.
Dude, literally, your entire rant was gone.
I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, so there's some inclement weather. Oklahoma. It's March and April, man. It's tornado season and just like crummy weather. So my bad. But anyway, to continue on. Yeah, dude. I like the Batman stuff. I like Dark Knight. All that kind of stuff. But dude, it's just like I could never really get into Avengers. I could never really get into any of the Star Wars kind of newer spin-off movies. Like Solo or what's the other one, man? Isn't there another series that they have now?
Rogue One was like big. Yeah. That one was like a phenomenal just movie. It wasn't even like even if you just took it out that was Star Wars, it was a phenomenal movie. It was a great heist movie.
I'm not even hating on it. It's just for me personally, I can't really get into it. I don't know why it is.
I don't knock people for not liking Star Wars or not liking like Marvel. Like, see, right. I grew up. The first thing I loved was Star Wars and Lord of the Rings, and then I got into comic books as I got older because, like, I finally got to see like Avengers and Iron Man. I always loved the Dark Knight movies because those were just amazing movies. I didn't care.
Right.
Like Batman's not even my top 10 favorite superheroes, but I fucking love those movies. They're badass as hell. So the way I look at it is that, it's definitely an acquired taste. Listen, I'm not. It's like some people love Harry Potter. I can't fucking stand it.
Sure,
but
that's another one. That's
Yeah,
exactly kind of another one where it's like, it's not fair to call it like a niche following because obviously there's millions and millions of people that really like Harry Potter. But that's another one where it's like, I can sit around and watch the movies if they're on, whatever. Someone else chooses them. But I don't think there's any kind of scenario where I'm in charge of picking a movie or I'm going to sit down and watch a movie and I'm going to pick, Half-Blood Prince, like, and just throw it on and watch it. Like,
it's for me, it's like I love movies in general. So unless you're a Star Wars nerd or like you're hanging out with some people who are like Star Wars people, like I'll never suggest a Star Wars or Lord of the Rings or Marvel movie because like you got to either be in the mood for it or you got to know where the story is so I don't have to explain shit. So like for me, like one of my favorite, like I love suggesting movies like The Gentleman, the Guy Ritchie movie with Matthew McConaughey and Charlie Hunnam and Hugh Jackman. It's an amazing fucking movie. Or I love The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I know it's an old Western, but it's fucking awesome.
Like, are you guys familiar with like Letterboxd? Do you guys know what that is? So that's just like, you guys got to get it. I mean, Jared specifically, if you really like movies, man. So it's just the best way to think about it is like it's sort of like a social media kind of like platform, but with just for movies. So you make an account, and then essentially you just look up a movie that you've seen, go in there, rate it. You can leave a short review. You don't have to leave a review. You just, out of 5 stars, rate it. And you can like add your friends and see what movies they've watched, see what they've reviewed, see what movies are really popular amongst like the larger Letterboxd community. So, I mean, if you really like movies, if you're watching a lot of movies, then, definitely something kind of cool just to see what your friends are watching, see what like, other people are sort of saying about, maybe like a new movie that came out or whatever. Right. And you're on the fence of whether or not, hey, I want to go to the movie theater and watch or not. So.
No, I definitely get it. And like one of my favorite things about like this is honestly why I love the off season is we talk about like things besides sports during the off season. It's kind of fun. Obviously, we're talking NCAA stuff. We're going to talk NFL free agency with DJ when he gets here. But like one of my favorite things is that, I love I have so many movies I missed out on, whether it was because I would just never got to see it in theaters or I never got to watch it when I was of age or I had a crazy ex who hated going to the movies. I don't know. It doesn't matter. That last one was true. So like one movie I want to watch is that like what's that girl's name? She played the new Laura Croft. I absolutely love that chick. She's gorgeous and I love her acting. I think it's Alicia Van Wilder or something like that. I don't know whatever her name is, but she's married to Michael Fassbender, but somehow I know that. I don't know why. Either way, she does a movie called A Man from U.N.C.L.E. with Henry Cavill. Love Henry Cavill. And Armie Hammer before went fucking nuts. Apparently, it's a fucking awesome spy movie. Taking place in the 60s with a Soviet and a American spy. It was really cool. So that's one I want to see. I don't know. Like, I love, like, even though it's a series, the Creed movies are fucking awesome. You could watch all 3 of them out of context. I mean, It helps if you watch them in order. One of my buddies, he's a college running back, and I talked to him the other day, and he goes, yeah, all my linemen were talking about how they hated it. I'm like, and I asked him a couple of simple questions, like, buddy, does your buddy like hip-hop or understand urban culture? He goes, nah, he's a fucking hick from the backwoods of Iowa. I'm like, bro, Creed is not a hood classic, but it's definitely an urban influence movie. It's
for sure.
And for me, like, it's my favorite sports movie series of all time. It smokes Rocky to me. I love the Rocky movies. I will always love them. But like Creed is more relatable to me because it's more modern culture. Also, I love his story more. So that's cool. Also, the villains in the Creed series are awesome. And they have more personality. Like, dude, one of my favorite, Jonathan Major is maybe one of the best movie villains of the year in this, and also he played Kang in the Ant-Man movie. But one of my favorite lines is, you know, Baby Duke is talking shit about him to Creed, and he stops talking when Jonathan Major's character walks by and goes, "Don't stop talking now, Dookie." And I'm like, bro, it's so relatable. I know people like that who are just like trying to start a fight, and it was so cool. And there's that's why I love watching movies where it's like there's real life influence. So I love my fantasy movies. I love Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, Marvel, etc., whatever. But like I love real life movies. Like why I loved The Gentleman was it was so much it was very realistic how they did everything. I love movies that are like a real life situation kind of shit, but are fiction. So I don't know. I like that shit a lot. So and oh my god, see, yeah, my boy Stacey Morgan. By the way, if you haven't checked out the Morgan Man podcast, this episode is phenomenal. Wolf of Wall Street is awesome. Now that I actually know who Jordan Belfort is as a human, because I follow him on TikTok and on Instagram, he's actually really fucking cool. I'm noticing a Leo theme.
Is he, dude?
Oh,
I don't know, man.
He's an interesting dude to follow.
I like see his tweets every once in a while, man. And like I just think that like don't get me wrong, the movie and just kind of the story is absolutely just like hilarious.
I think he's funny as hell, and I honestly a lot of his shit he says, whatever I said before, because my brain's like shutting off right now. I think he's hilarious, and I like some of his money content, some of his money advice, and his advice about like doing startups, shit like that. Very helpful.
Sure.
It's like a back alley version of Gary Vee with all the snake oil shit. So and I like Gary Vee shit, but like I like listening to Jordan Belfort because it's definitely interesting. But I'm noticing a little Leo theme here with my man Stacy. But nah, he's right. No, by the way, yeah, buddy, I know you want your fucking race to win. Oh, by the way, does anybody knows how that whole Rafael Acuna shit, just like the trademark just died? Nobody's offering anything, or like, what the fuck happened?
Quick little go ahead, Matt. I'll hit y'all with the score update in a sec.
I was saying I didn't even know there was any sort of trade market for Acuna right now. I didn't even hear anything about that.
Because he was mad about the fucking them not allowing him to
What, in the World Baseball Classic?
Yeah, World Baseball Classic for Venezuela.
I think he should be mad at his agent for having him sign that fucking 7-year deal that was worth like under $100 million. I think that's who his. I think that's who his. I mean, him and Albies should be. I'm not saying Albies is angry, but they should. Anybody's angry. Director.
It's collusion.
Listen, I don't know what agent would have told them sign that now. That is a beautiful deal. You'll get paid pennies until you're 29, and then you'll go cash in on a big deal. Like, no, it was just insane.
Baseball does have a better shelf life than like most major sports. It's the one luxury. It's like the other day I was saying, I was like, oh god, this one of the guys on the Snakes, Merrill Kelly. He's like 29 years old. I was like, oh no, his prime's almost over. I'm like, nah, your prime, even pitching goes to like 34, 35. Or if you're Mason's boy Verlander, it goes to your 1,000.
Yeah, and I mean, baseball definitely got more longevity, especially with the universal DH now. It's just you just see a lot of players when they get to be 34, 35, they start to convert to full-time DH for the last 3 or 4 years of their career. But I don't know. I thought he would have wanted a trade because that contract is terrible. I think he's getting like 80-something million over 7 years or something like that. He's getting like 10 million a year.
Fair enough.
It's just like these team-friendly deals, man. Because, I mean, you think about that, right? You know, exactly like you were saying, Matt, extremely undervalued, right? For at least, you know, thinking about it from the player perspective. You know, the goal for all of these, like, really well-run organizations, and the Astros have been so good at this for probably, I don't know, 8 years now, 7 years now, where they sign these, these players who, kind of like Yordan Alvarez, right? Not even in his prime yet, maybe just entering his prime, sign a long-term deal prior to that. So, they sign this team-friendly deal where they get dudes for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years where they're making almost nothing. And then, they're done with the contract when they're 30, 31. And then what?
Yeah,
you missed the window where you were going to make serious money. And maybe you won, kind of like your Don has at least one time, but what's he going to do when the contract's up, right?
no, I agree. And so my favorite thing about all of this is that baseball is so much different than the NFL.
And the NBA too, man.
And the NBA, just throw the NBA out. The NBA, like Eddie
Right.
Curry.
If you want to talk about just sort of leagues that are, you think about baseball and the NFL even, where it's the teams control everything. The owners and the teams control essentially everything. That's the NFL and the MLB to an absolute T, right? And then you think about the NBA, it's the complete opposite. The players control everything. And that's why dudes are sitting out so much. But yeah, go ahead, Jared.
Like Eddie Curry, dude made like $45 million off the Bulls and Knicks. Dude played maybe 2 seasons for the Knicks and maybe 4 for New York. I think he played for my Timberwolves at one point. Never even took a fucking minute on the court. Like it's great, man. Like I like the NBA, like they have their shit figured out for the players, but
it's gotten out of hand.
Luol Deng literally hasn't played in years and he's still on the Lakers payroll.
Okay, so halftime now, 43-38 K-State. They've knocked down 7 threes in the first half, so 7 for 12. So they're shooting.
So basically, if they
very
go
well, man,
if they go cold from the 3 ball, it's a Michigan State ball game.
And I mean, Michigan State, like, I've been watching probably the last, 3 minutes of the first half. And I mean, they're getting some pretty timely buckets where they're picking up a couple and ones and knocking down the free throws. And if they're not picking those up, man, I mean, this is a 15-point game right now, 12-point game right now.
Also, I mean, like, I love how I can't bet on UConn because I live in Connecticut, which is the stupidest fucking thing on the planet. Go Arkansas!
I honestly, man, just a quick preview, dude. I mean, you guys know I don't like Texas, so I can't pick those guys to win it all. But I mean, hey, man,
go Musketeers, baby! Shout out to our boys over at Craft Brew. They're all ex-Xavier grads.
I mean, dude, K-State wins this game. They're looking at the winner of FAU and Tennessee. And K-State, I know it's K-State, it's Kansas State, it's Kansas, like, but hey, man, they got some really solid players. I mean, they've got dudes they've got one player who's All-American. They've got a couple who are second, third team All-American. They got some very good players. So, that's like my sleeper. If they could potentially win the whole thing, man. Like,
y'all want to hear my I put my parlays in. I did all my picks except for UConn, Arkansas, because fuck, I hate Connecticut. The state for its gambling rules, not the college. I mean, I hate the college too, but anyway. I took Michigan State to pull the upset. I have a weird feeling Kansas State's going to get dry in the second half. And listen, that team that gets those timely buckets, man, it just takes you to brick a couple threes, and they're ahead of you, and you're shooting your way out.
Right.
I can't bet on Arkansas, UConn. You want my pick? I'll take Arkansas. I think UConn. I don't know. I don't love the team, man. They seem clunky to me, if that makes sense. Like they're all.
You're talking about UConn, Jared?
UConn just kind of feels clunky to me. Arkansas, like I watched them beat Kansas. I was like, oh, Jesus.
Well, I mean, and the other thing too, man, being that, I mean, when you get to this stage and you're sort of considered an underdog, I mean, you got nothing to lose, man.
Yeah.
So, every single game from here on out, as long as they continue winning, I mean, they're going to go pedal, just all gas, right? Like, I mean, they got nothing to lose. They shouldn't be here already. They're a solid team, but exactly. Like
I took Tennessee over FAU. I'm sorry, FAU squeaked by Penny Hardaway's Memphis Tigers and then beat FDU
right. Beat a
by
16
like
seed.
8 points, right? Like 8 points. Like they shouldn't even be there. And then the nightcap, I got UCLA. They're like my sleeper team to make it to the Final Four. So I have.
If they line up versus obviously, I think the winner of U of H and Texas, man. I mean, that might be the game of the tournament. UCLA versus the winner of that. That could be.
See, you're
awesome.
you're not giving my Canes any shot, and I love it. Don't pick us.
I mean, hey, dude, look, I respect the game, bro. But look, Houston, they've got some dogs, bro.
They got some dogs, man. Listen, and shout out to our boy Parker who covers them for I think it's like Hooked on Cougs or whatever the fuck their team website is. Shout out to Parker. Even though I feel like Hooked on Cougars should be like a fucking porn site. And then also like what was it? Shout out to my boy Andy Patton who covers Score for the Gonzaga Bulldogs. Dude's been killing it for the years. He's a former Belly Up alum. And then tomorrow I have Alabama smoking San Diego State by like 1,000. That's what we're gonna have Cruz talk about. I have Miami pulling off the upset over Houston. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm wearing the Miami hat. Maybe because I'm feeling ballsy. The odds are too good. I have Princeton covering against Creighton, but I have Creighton winning. And I have Xavier beating Texas outright. Because for some reason, something about Texas just screamed, and they're going to go down. Horns down, baby!
I mean,
look, on, Mace, you know how to do it. You've been doing it your entire childhood.
Choking is absolutely in the University of Texas DNA, man. It doesn't matter. Well, let me revise that. It's in the DNA of the sports that matter. When you talk about the sports that matter, we talk about baseball, football, basketball. Yeah, and we'll leave it at that for at least for UT, right? But they thrive in swimming and gymnastics and I guess they're pretty good at golf. We'll respect them in golf, but I mean in all the sports that are irrelevant, tennis, they're very good in tennis. So more power to them on that. But
rival school, right?
What'd you say?
It's almost like Mason goes to a rival school.
Hey, dude, look, I'm from Texas, man. So I know I've been around you.
You're from the fun part of Texas, okay? The
exactly.
Cool
I'm from the logical part of Texas.
All right. So it's about that time. Before we bring our guest in, we're going to do our Final Four predictions. I have oh my God, I can't think straight. All right. Out of the Midwest bracket, I have Miami because fuck it. That's why. There always needs to be one clusterfuck pick. Out of the West, I have UCLA. Out of the East, I have Tennessee, which actually was in my Final Four, so I will roll with that one. And out of the shit show South bracket, I have Alabama rolling in, roll tide. So Bama, the only lone one seed going in. So my Final Four is Miami, Bama, UCLA, and Tennessee. Jesus, it sounds like a college football playoff Final Four, not an NCAA one. All right. We'll bring in our guest. He's got a shot to talk about this. Mason, who's your Final Four? Hey, there's DJ.
So I will start with the Midwest bracket here. I feel like this is going to come down to the wire if Texas and U of H both win. I believe they both play tomorrow. I mean, that is a real toss-up, man, but I'm going to go with Houston just out of gut instinct. Got friends that go there, and, I've watched them play a few times. I think they're a really, really solid team. I think they're the best team in the tournament. Moving over to the South, I think Bama, probably the second best team in the nation, I'd say. And, yeah, I mean, they should walk whoever they play, Creighton or Princeton. If it's Princeton, that game won't even be watchable. And then Creighton might put up a fight, but still got Bama. And then East region, I'm going to go K-State, but I'll say whoever wins this K-State, Michigan State game, I think wins the whole thing. But I'll take K-State. And then West, I'll go UCLA. I think they're easily the best team out of that region. If they would have won the Pac-12 tournament, I think they would have been a 1 seed. They're a 2 seed right now. So I'll go UCLA. That game tonight is going to be awesome.
Nice. Maddie, who's your Final Four?
I got Kansas State over Michigan. Then we're gonna go UConn over Arkansas. We're gonna just go down the list. FAU over Tennessee.
Full picks.
Gonzaga over UCLA. Wait, yep.
Oh,
Gonzaga over UCLA.
no.
Macy's going rogue.
No, man.
Listen, Bama's gonna take down San Diego. Houston's gonna take down Miami. We're gonna have a Princeton over Creighton. It's going to be wild.
Pronounce it right, you behemoth. Jesus.
Texas over Xavier. Creighton. Sorry. So
Creighton.
then,
say it with your Connecticut accent, you bastard.
This is when shit's going to get real. So I'm going to give you the guys a quick rundown. So we're going to wind up getting down to, I'm going to say it's going to be about Alabama versus like Gonzaga or some wild shit like that. So we're going to have 1v1. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, Miami is going to come out. It's going to be like Stone Cold Steve Austin music. Now, just when Alabama thinks they're going to stand with them, Miami's going to just hit them with a quick stone cold stunner. Gonzaga's are going to go for the pin, and they're going to win the entire thing.
I can't get behind it, man. That weak conference that
You're
they're
done.
playing,
You're in
bro.
timeout, you rascal. Jesus Christ. What the fuck was that? All right, DJ, before I put Matt in here because he's still in timeout, what's your Final Four, buddy?
All right, so I got Alabama because that honestly the only teams that are going to give them trouble are pretty much gone at this point, so they should cakewalk there. I'm going to go with Michigan State out of that bracket because that for some reason this is in March. It's Tom Izzo season. They'll get to the Final Four and then they'll slip up. But
I hate Michigan State, but I bet on them once. That's why I'm rooting for them.
I had Marquette in the finals, and since they got rid of that, the least they can do is at least do me this solid. I have Texas over Houston. I think that'll be a close one. I'm just leaning a little more towards Texas one. And I do think Gonzaga is going to get out of that one as well, too. I think them and UCLA is going to be a tough one. But this is the year Gonzaga gets through when they have zero expectations. They suck as those 1 seeds. Here now is the 3 seed where no one gives them a shot.
He's just like, yo, fuck that shit,
I'm just
bro.
throwing something into this one.
I cannot that weak conference that they play in, bro. I cannot get behind.
St. Mary's can ball, baby. Shit.
Well, where are they at right now, bro? If they can ball, where are they at?
Same place as your Sooners and my Tar Heels don't mean shit right now.
Exactly, bro. They play in that weak conference, dude. Yeah. No, forget those losers, bro. Like I Gonzaga is like one of my least favorite college basketball teams, man. So I'm biased, but
hey, listen,
I think UCLA has something for them tonight. Like
I watched them get bodied by a Tar Heel team with a bunch of scrubs in 2017 in the championship game. That was like, I'm like, this is Gonzaga. Their best player is Jalen.
Play in a real conference. Come to the Big 12. You know,
go
like
to the
Pac-12, saying, man.
Yeah.
And then I'll respect you if you can
go to the Pac-12 for basketball only. Just be be your D3 for everything else. Just be Pac-12 for basketball.
20 free wins a year, dude. They get 20 free wins a year because they're playing teams like Santa Clara and University of San Francisco, bro. That's why they're so raw every year.
Oh,
like
I have a cool story. I have a nice update for any Tar Heels fans out there. Armando Bacot, star of season 3 of Outer Banks, and he's pretty good at basketball too. He is coming back for his 5th season because he still has his COVID year of eligibility. So Bacot is going to play next year. No word on Caleb Love. I have heard he's probably coming back. That's scary because that's like now, and they have 3 more 5 stars coming in. If Hubert Davis cannot get these boys to make the tournament next year, just fire his ass. Make him walk barefoot to Duke or something. Make him really be a Tar Heel at this point. Get it? But just like, dude, I like this North Carolina next year. That's got to be they got to come out and kill everybody, right? Like that, they have to.
With that talent, bro, with that sort of talent pool that they're, every single year have at their disposal. I mean, and you can't make it work, bro. I mean, I don't know what to.
They really weren't. they haven't had an elite level. This is their first elite class they've had since like
In a while.
2016. They've been like a decent team, but they keep getting smoked by these one and done schools like Kentucky. They get killed in Duke, but yet they still hang around. That 2017 team, I think the highest star recruit they had was a 4-star. I think it was Justin Jackson. That was it. I think in Cam Johnson.
Yeah.
Who both are in the NBA. So I mean they're good. They're good at what they do. But like, like they had like nothing but streaky shooters. Like the Harrison Barnes team had 4 5-stars. This is the last time that happened on that roster. So all I'll say is this: college basketball is a fucking weird ass sport. It never made any sense. It's not like college football where generally if you're a 5-star, it's like a 60% chance you're going to make it to the NFL for at least one contract. So,
Unless you're Spencer Rattler.
hey, listen, we'll talk about your dartboards later, okay? DJ, are you a Star Wars guy at all? I feel like you have to be at least a little bit.
Oh yeah, do you see that there's the Slave One back there? Boba Fett.
I'm so proud. In my room, I have Mando's N1 Starfighter because that was so cool to me. That was like my favorite thing as a kid. We were talking about episode 1, how Ahmad Best got his redemption thanks to Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau, and it was like the coolest thing ever because I'm scrolling through TikTok and the internet and everything else, and they're like, he got his redemption. And I went on this little rant about how dude, I love the fact that it stuck into every Gen X or Star Wars fan who's just a scum or elder millennial who's just a total scumbag to some poor actor who took a gig.
Like it wasn't even. It was a voice actor too. It's not like it was
actually. He's just doing the voicing and he was a stand-in and they're fucking ripping him for it. He wore literally a prosthetic head on him with motion capture beads. Like fuck off, Star Wars. Like go back to your mom's basement. Ironically, that's where I am right now. For now. 3 months. We're the countdown has almost begun. I will say this, DJ. We also got a great conversation about what's our favorite go-to movies to rock and watch with when you got friends over and you're bored as fuck. It's like, hey, let's watch a movie. And you get to pick one you like watching. You can't be a series, like a non-series movie you gotta watch. I gave out a couple. I like The Gentleman was great with Matthew McConaughey and Charlie Hunnam. Another one I thought of later was Gladiator. Just movies you can watch by themselves that you throw it on and everyone's gonna all right, that's awesome.
So mine's a very basic one, and I'm always a fan of Remember the Titans. Anytime
there we go.
Left side, strong side just works every single time. Even people who aren't sports fans.
You will be perfect. It works in every sense of the word. You drop a pass, you run a mile. You fumble the ball, you miss a blocking assignment, you run a mile. You fumble football, I break my foot off at your John Brown high parts, and then you run a mile.
Then you run a mile. Perfection,
gentlemen. That's one of my favorite speeches of all time. Another one, Any Given Sunday.
That's a good.
I'm not the biggest. I actually liked Friday Night Lights, the series, better than the movie, if that makes sense.
Same. I think the series is what they wanted the movie to be. Just you can only do so much in a movie. And the movie is great. Still loved it. But the series was spot on. One of the better series I've seen. In my
Longest Yard with Adam Sandler was fucking amazing.
Oh, yeah.
It's everyone ripped it when it first came out. And then, as I've gotten older, people are oh my God, this movie's actually great. But speaking of Longest Yard, I'm not going to make this joke about Zeke. Sorry. I could make a joke about where he might be going, though, because Joe Mixon, even though he was found not guilty, where the hell is Zeke going, DJ? Because it was showed earlier that it was his wish list to go to the Eagles, Bengals, and Jets. That wasn't actually offers. And I know the Eagles learned from the DeMarco Murray incident. There is a curse. No Cowboy can ever be good in the Eagles. No Eagle can ever be good in the Cowboys.
Minus Terrell Owens.
It's the curse of T.O. That's what we call it.
Okay, good.
Yeah, it's the curse of T.O. Orlando Scandrick was a solid corner, and then he literally became a human meme in Philly. Miles Austin.
Ooh.
DeMarco Murray.
Mr. Kardashian.
Yeah, right. Who was the other one? I'm trying to think of another one. Who's the Eagle went to freaking Dallas besides T.O.?
How far back are you thinking?
I'm thinking to T.O. So that's it. Because once he got cut, that's when that started. The whole running joke that's a curse. I don't know. Either way, I can never think of like it's never worked out well where like Mason's Wi-Fi gave out again.
No, he said he's gonna be right back.
Dummy, that's the excuse. Come on, Matt, read it. Like it's you never tell him he's gonna be
You're destroying the fourth wall, guy.
exactly.
Okay.
We're trying to keep the exposure up.
Oh.
Our boy Morgan Man Sports, by the way, brought Wolf of Wall Street, which I thought was good. But I don't know. I can't think of a good spot for Zeke. I feel like it's
going to find a good spot for a couple more, at least until after the draft, too. I think.
Yeah, I want to see who misses on getting a running back, because who was the Eagles' first pre-draft visit? DJ,
wasn't it Jahmyr Gibbs?
No, it was Bijan Robinson.
Okay, I was close, but either way, I feel like one of those two. If they're sitting there 30-31, it's a wrap.
Listen, Howie's got a snitch in every single building. He's going to hear somebody's drafting him at 24. He's moving up to 22 to grab him. I think they like Bijan because if Penny fails, he can take 20 carries a game.
100%.
Whereas if like they go get Jahmyr Gibbs, it's kind of a 50-50 shot if he can do it. I love both of them. I'm happy with either of them. I love Gibbs' explosiveness, but I love the fact that Bijan is literally a bowling ball with a 4.40. So I also think Bijan's a shiftier version of what Rashad Penny's ceiling is.
Easily, and that's before we even see Bijan play. Because I think too, once he gets to the NFL blocking schemes, I think he's gonna have a field day too. Because his vision
also
is so
in
good.
A top 1 offensive line. Are you kidding me?
Oh, if you give him the Eagles, he's got 1,400 yards as a rookie easily, and that's with
Jalen Hurts breaking the rookie rushing record. Or wait, no, what was ED's rushing record? It was like what 1,600 yards, whatever it was.
Is it at 16 to 18, something like that, something ridiculous? But he's
insane. The only way he breaks that though is if like Gainwell is booty and Penny is like in and out of injuries, which I hope doesn't happen because I love Rashad Penny. His personality, ever since he got to the Eagles, cool. One signing I never brought up was we got Greedy Williams, who was like a 2nd round pick 4 years ago. And the dude's been like an okay corner, like, and he's just fast and he knows what he's doing.
He's very much like a play off, and he's very weird. He's so physically gifted, but he seems to be shaky in one-on-one man. Like in Cleveland, he couldn't play on the inside, so I had to stick him on the outside. And on the outside, well, that's all they have is outside corner, so it didn't really work. So he's good. He's solid. You put him on the boundary, say don't let anyone go over the top, and he's lengthy and fast. So
well, I mean, listen, fuck it. They may just have him play like that free roaming safety they had Gardner Johnson play last year.
And he could probably do that because he's a pretty good tackler too. So he could definitely fit in a role like that.
None of those you boys are grass fed, man. They know what they're doing. Or sorry,
I like the sound. No, sorry, I was gonna say I like the sound of the Philadelphia's Eagles. So I'm thinking he's gonna go there. But I'm waiting for the eventual news to come out that he's signed.
Stop it, Matthew. Enough. Or I'm gonna kick you again, or I'm gonna text B to come kick your ass. Okay? Because I'm done with this shit. Stop putting this in the universe. I don't want Zeke anywhere near my fucking locker room.
I think the eventual
fucking
outcome.
Jacksonville to be the 1-2 punch with ETN, which, by the way, there's a good one. Send them to Miami to go work with those 2 speedy boys down there in South Beach. I also like why wouldn't you want to go to Miami? Yeah, you'd have to take a pay cut, but like you'd be in a 3-headed backfield with Mozart, who's going to get hurt by week 3 anyway, and Jeff Wilson, who was a one-hit wonder. To me, it makes so much sense to go to Miami because he'll probably get 20 carries a game by the middle of the season. I think.
And dude loves to party, bro. So it's like,
Exactly.
why not go to Miami, man, where you've got the scene to just, do it every night. You know what I mean? Or, I mean, I kind of think about Vegas too. Like, Vegas has Jacobs and he's going to take, he's going to have a lot of carries or whatever, like normal, but why can't Zeke come in and be your 3rd, 4th down running back and just
Drake and Zaire White? They have a loaded backfield.
That is true. True.
No,
I'm just trying to think of
Baltimore.
Oh, Drake's in Baltimore now. Oh, sorry, no, they have Zamir or Zaire White.
Yeah, Zamir White.
Yeah.
It's just I'm trying to think about non-serious like playoff teams that have like fun sort of like atmospheres where he can go out, party down, have fun, and then still just kind of play football on the side.
So Morgan's got a point. Only thing is, like, I don't think they keep Henry. I don't think Henry's a Titan next season.
I mean,
I think DJ's nightmare every time I play him is over.
I feel like the whole point of Zeke going to a team, which he's obviously not going to be the featured guy, but I think it's more of a third and goal or like a short, like a power back kind of role,
Right.
which
Or
they already
maybe
have
he
that
actually
in.
drops some weight.
Goal line,
Yeah.
just like
Well, it's-
massive push kind of dude, right?
That's why
also-
out of all of his like, oh, this is where I want to go. Like I just felt like one, I didn't really think the Jets made sense because they already have four. They have Reese, they have Michael Carter, they have Bam Knight, they just signed Ty Johnson back. I didn't think it makes sense with all the people they already have.
Since he made, they lost pieces.
Yeah,
Ryan. So like,
yeah,
why?
I could see the Bengals.
I think Bengals makes the most sense out of all of them because like Joe Mixon, we don't know what's going to happen. Zeke can take 20-something carries a game. He's got the durability for it. It's just a matter of like, also, anybody else think like Zeke could like go in his like supervillain arc and actually like get himself back in ridiculous shape? Like there's a real chance he could do that because like he went from being like one of the most feared running backs in football to being cut after free agency. Like,
Well, that's why I kind of made that joke in the text.
Him and they couldn't move him.
Well, that's why I made that joke in the text, like, oh, I'm waiting for him to sign a 1-year deal with the Commanders because I can just see him staying in the division to like just shove it to the Cowboys twice a year. But I could think of just a bunch of teams that would make sense for him. Like if he went to Denver, just paired up with
Javonte.
Javonte. I don't know. I was going to say
even the New York
Jameson.
Giants with Saquon.
Yeah, there's a lot of teams that just make sense.
Like Saquon,
It's just like for me,
Minnesota.
For me, I got to narrow it down to like teams that are just
Madison.
not serious, man. Like teams that are not really like playoff teams where it's like he can just kind of go play football.
Arizona.
But
Houston.
There you go.
Boys,
Matt. Perfect,
Seattle
bro.
Sea Dragons taking reunite with Ben DiNucci.
Him and Josh Gordon will have a blast.
All right. Score updates. So we've got Cats 49-41, 17 to play in the second half. They kind of are seeming like they got these boys on the ropes, man. Like they are coming out the half and just cooking. And
Dude,
then in the other game, Jared, you're not going to like this, man, but UConn 34, Arkansas 19, dude. And they got these boys.
Game, so I'm fine, okay? It's just the first one I care about. I could give two fucks about what I picked in my bracket. My bracket challenges are all shot. I have one alive, and it's
Michigan
the one
State 3 to stop the bleeding, but
okay. You'll never hear me say this again.
7-10 in the first half. Like I said, UConn.
And he's dead.
This is there's inclement weather. The dude's getting his Toby Keith on. There's a tornado coming. He's slamming beers. So he literally is Toby Keith right now, and I love every second of this. While he's getting his shit together with his connection, Deej, dude, you hear about? I know Matt did his research on this. Did you hear about this Lamar Jackson? This guy who's like posing as Lamar Jackson's agent or some shit.
Yeah, then Lamar came out and said too, like that guy is not like that is not my guy. So what's going on?
I hope not for Lamar's sake, but I really hope some team called this guy, tried to negotiate on Lamar's behalf, and they were like bamboozled. It was like some team like the fucking Commanders who have no shot at getting Lamar in realistic terms. And we're like, wait, this wasn't Lamar's agent. We just offered $14 million a year for guaranteed. Wait, what? Or 28? Shit, no, fuck. It's like, what?
Check's already cashed. Damn it.
It's like, damn, fuck.
I tried to read into it a little more. I Googled Ken Francis NFL, and what popped up was Tom Pelissero put out something saying the most recent thing that I don't even know if it was legit or not. He's like, the most recent thing that I could find on him was that he pitched an idea for some sort of fitness invention, and then he all of a sudden just started trying to contact NFL teams to negotiate for Lamar. So I'm thinking this guy's just trying to scam the system and just take the money and run. But he's apparently not a certified NFL agent, nor does he have any sort of certification through the NFL Players Association for an agent. So he's not, I think, legally allowed to represent anybody in the league. So everybody's putting out a memo saying don't entertain this guy. It's you're not supposed to. So it's just weird.
The league literally put out a memo, I think probably 2 hours ago, saying if you hear from this dude, he is not do not respond because he's just not real. Like he's a fake person. He has no sort of
Yeah.
validity and just like pull like at all.
Yeah, and then like you said, Lamar came out and was like, "Yeah, this dude's not with me." Imagine like opening up your.
I
Imagine
saw
opening up your
before we
work.
got on, man. Like he put out this tweet. So here's the tweet. It's like him doing like a workout video. I don't know if this was kind of what you were talking about, Matt.
Yeah.
So it's just like Lamar tweeted. He's like, my business partner Ken and I will be dropping at the entire gym this summer, and it's just like a video of like this mobile kind of like gym thing where you can do it's almost like a Peloton, but like it's like a mobile gym thing. I don't know. Go to Lamar's Twitter and look at it. I don't know what else to say. And then someone that I follow, like an NFL insider, was essentially, he quote tweeting. He's like, Lamar is like so smart for this. Like he's using, essentially like he's using this as free marketing to just like, boost this stock up. So maybe Lamar's got some kind of stake in it and, some big investment. And he's just like, oh yeah, like while this dude's in the headlines, let me just put this out. Nothing, this is free marketing. Like I said, like, nothing, there's no loss incurred by doing this.
You know what's really weird to me and all this stuff is that the Lamar situation we talked about this last week and the week before with Frank. I don't know what to do with Lamar anymore. I hear things 1 minute and I hear it's wrong. I hear one thing's another minute. Then I hear a counteracting report. Anybody else think like we're gonna make it to like week 10? He's not gonna even be playing for the Ravens. He's just gonna get released.
I mean, nah,
because the transition tag.
He's
the
too
transition,
good, bro.
The transition
that's like
tag,
the thing.
The transition tag. If you do not play by week 10, you are automatically cut.
So he could. You're saying he could force his hand.
He could force his hand. It's not. So he could be a free agent week 11 and sign with somebody. But the kicker is, I was talking to my boy Stacy yesterday from Morgan Man Sports. I'm like, if I'm the Falcons, no disrespect to Des Ridder, man, but like, dude, I'm gonna offer him like the keys of the kingdom.
Well, and they're not the only team that would do that either. I would assume. I mean, I would hope,
because you got CJ Stroud or Bryce Young coming in for Carolina, who's loading up on weapons,
or Anthony Richardson.
Richardson.
Right.
Even though I'm really hoping to go. I want to see him with your Colts, CJ. I know you
go number one, so Bryce Young or CJ Stroud goes to the Colts.
Well, when the Colts trade up for that one spot,
or listen, guys, they have Mustache Minshew. Are we ignoring the GOAT in here, or the most manly of all time? Oh, he's out. He had to take a breather.
We draw the line there. Just if he didn't wear jorts and have a fun mustache, we'd be looking in the same way as any other backup quarterback. He would be Cooper Rush at best.
And you know what the worst part is? DJ's still mad at me because I called this right before the Super Bowl.
As soon as I hired Steichen, I was like, son of a gun, he's going to be right about this. I'm going to hate it, and he's going to start, and it's going to make me mad. And just like his only time he ever did anything good with the Jaguars when he beat the Colts week 1 in Jacksonville, it's going to be the same thing.
Well, hey, dude, they're going to take AR, man, and you can just think about all of the better days, man, where you guys are winning like 3 straight Super Bowls, bro, and just you got like Lamar Jackson x like Herbert, you've got just like the greatest quarterback ever.
I can literally see him overthrowing the 2-yard screen route and getting a pick 6 every single time right now.
Oh my God! You know what?
Richardson?
I used to love Gardner Minshew, and then that pick 6 to Marshawn Lattimore, where I thought AJ Brown was going to actually physically beat him on the sideline. I'd never seen AJ that pissed in my entire life, and I was like, oh my God, they are actually trying to keep AJ and Gardner separated. That was so bad. I went back and watched that on film, by the way, for shits and giggles on all 22 DJ. His head never stopped looking at AJ the entire route.
Yeah, and AJ even came out the next day and said, like, based on that coverage, his side of the field was dead. Like, that was considered the dead side of the field.
Devontae was open. Devontae could have caught that ball and ran for 1,000 yards, just straight. There's nobody even within like 10 yards of him. And with his shiftiness, he might run all the way until next year. I'm like,
and then we don't have to.
But then I don't get to hold it over Giants fans. They've only won 1 game against us since I was a freshman in college.
Damn, Damn, they have been kind of crappy for a very long time. Now that you think about it.
Well, they've been good, but the Eagles are their kryptonite, and it kind of fits with green and their Superman colors. But I wanted to, so going forward, like to Lamar, where do you guys honestly think, like gun to your head, like you have to make a choice or you're gone? Where is he going? What's happening with Lamar this season? I'm saying Atlanta Falcons. I think it's out of nowhere. It's gonna happen some way, somehow.
We had a tie game, everybody.
Let's
have
go!
A tie game, man.
The parlay is alive, and
This is
my
pathetic,
shoulder
bro.
is dead.
My cats, dude. What are they doing? This is
Fuck
awful.
your Big 12 cats.
Oh, dude, don't get me started, man. This is bad, bro.
The
Like
only
this
Big
has
12
just been like an 8-0 run where they are just cooking. Like,
Gee, is Kansas State missing threes?
honestly, no. They're just turning the ball over. To be honest with you,
Tomato.
Yeah.
All right,
where do
Maddie.
I think Lamar is going to end up, man?
Yeah, go Mason.
So are we talking about where is he going to be playing next?
Where is he
season?
going to take snaps next year? Yes. And you can't say at Wendy's parking lot.
So I would say, I mean, okay, so obviously the safe bet is Baltimore. And I feel like, honestly, man, since nothing has happened thus far, you have to assume the Ravens, man. Like, simply because, everything that you see, because I know you guys see the same things that I do. I mean, it's not even like a team. There's not even buzz around 1 or 2 or 3 teams where it's like they're even like mildly interested. So that off the bat, that's sort of worrisome because, I mean, we talked about this 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, a month ago, whatever it was when free agency sort of opened and teams could start talking to him. Teams were just like within 24 hours, they were like, "Oh yeah, we're out. Nope, we're not even going to talk to him. We're not even going to, make an offer," whatever it was. So, I mean, the logical sort of choice is Baltimore. There was that report probably 2 weeks ago that said Lamar kind of came out and said like he was looking to move on and, just kind of clean slate, move on. There's been a lot of off-field chatter and, extracurriculars with the Ravens and Lamar for the past, 2 seasons now? 2.5 seasons.
It's been ugly.
It's been bad, man. And it's so surprising because, I mean, we all know the Ravens are an exceptionally well-run organization top to bottom. I think we would all agree on that. I mean, they are like, in my mind, man, like I think they might be the most well-run organization in the NFL. I don't know if that's like a hot take.
If not one, they're top 5.
Easy, man. Like not even a discussion, right?
Like DJ's Colts would be in a discussion if Jim Irsay wasn't fucking insane, but
Take away last year and they're in that conversation. But last year, that's an anchor to your ankles.
Listen, I'll probably throw my Eagles in there, the Patriots. I throw the Steelers as much as listen, you could throw basically Mason behind center. They'd still somehow find 8 wins.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the personnel over there, man. It's just like they
can't beat it.
They're so well at drafting. They're so good at free agents. Like,
Mace, you remember what Frank said about Lamar? Maybe we're looking at this the wrong way because Lamar's been the media's darling since he came out.
Sure, yeah.
And are we looking at this fact that maybe Lamar's not a top 10 quarterback, but he's acting like one?
Well, I mean,
he had the MVP season.
That's where I have to draw the line, man.
Well,
I mean,
but it's like the production after that season just dipped off.
I mean, look at his record as a starting quarterback, dog.
But like you said, the Ravens are an efficient franchise. They get good guys around him.
Well, so I mean, look, this is the way I think about it.
It's his individual stats, not his win-loss record.
Well, so he like my immediate takeaway when all of this started and they were really hesitant towards re-signing, right? I mean, and this is, like I said, man, this has been going back for like literally 2 seasons. After the COVID year, the 2020 season, that's when the sort of the media coverage of when is Baltimore going to re-sign Lamar, right? Because this dude is seeming like, he can win him multiple Super Bowls, right? He's the most dynamic quarterback in the league right now, period, right? He's the best dual threat there is, I would say. I think we would all agree on that. So my kind of takeaway from that is that they must feel like they can go get someone in the draft. They can go get someone in free agency who's better. And I personally think that's delusional because he's a one-of-one player. Maybe it's just the fact that I haven't watched the NFL for long enough and I'm just wrong on that. But I've never seen anyone like him, right?
So here's the thing. They might have to take 1 year of L's with Tyler Huntley.
Yeah.
Who's saying they don't move up with this Lamar trade and go get Anthony Richardson and let him sit behind Huntley for a year?
I mean, sure, that's very possible, but
they realize, and I think the problem with Lamar, it was so good, so fast, but it was not perfect. So there's two different ways to be successful in the NFL. Where you're you're the number one seed. I've noticed this. You either are winning games by the seat of your pants, everything's a lucky break, a wide open receiver on a broken coverage, you have a freak athlete at a position,
aka the Kansas City Chiefs or
the Baltimore Ravens. The last two number one, the Baltimore Ravens are literally the definition of what happens when you have a decent throwing quarterback with a good defense around him, okay weapons, Mark Andrews being an elite tight end, and some good, decent receivers at best, and some good running, and you basically take the league out because you're just beating teams up because they're already down, so they can throw, you can just get after them because they're more worried about your quarterback running. Or you have the Chiefs, or I'll even throw my fucking Eagles in there because they basically just beat the fuck out of every team they played. Even the good teams they played, like the Chiefs, they took them to the wire. The Eagles were a elite team last year. So were the Kansas City Chiefs. So were the San Francisco 49ers. So were the Bengals, the Bills, whatever. Those are the top 5 best teams in the league right there. I just named. How do they finish their games? They finish their games by winning the damn game. There was no question they could win the game. The questions lied in certain other products. You never questioned if they could score, how they could score. Whereas with the Ravens, you're like, all right, is it this or is it that? When they had 19 and 20, when they were at their peak of their Lamar Jackson powers, I remember the Eagles-Ravens game like it was yesterday. It was a tie ball game till Lamar broke a 60-yard run off 2 bad tackles. And I'm like, wait, this is the best team in football?
Yeah, I mean, it's just the ongoing discussion of, obviously, Lamar's played a handful of playoff games, right? He's only won one of them, and then the other thing is they're excellent when they can get a lead, right? They're very, very good at when they can get that head start. They can go up 10-0, 14-0, anything larger than that, right? But forever, I mean, even including that MVP season in 2019, it's always been, this team has really, really struggled when they go down early and they have to win games by coming from behind. And that's, I mean, it doesn't take an idiot to see that when you have a run-first offense, it doesn't matter who the quarterback is. When your offense is primarily focused on running the football, whether that's with the quarterback, whether that's with running backs, doesn't matter. It's hard to come back in games. It's hard to be down in football games and run the ball and shoot clock and come back and win football games when the other team is ahead by, I don't know, I mean, call it 2 scores.
I'll go ahead and say too, I'm curious what he looks like outside of a Greg Roman offense as well too, because that offense is I think the offense is as much to blame for that as anything as well. We saw it with the 49ers and Kaepernick when those were the most loaded teams in the game by a land shot. They kind of had the same issue. They fell behind.
They could never close against an aggressive offense. Remember what was it, 2011, Rodgers and the Packers came screaming back against them. Or no, maybe no, it wasn't Rodgers. It was somebody else. They played Seattle. Russ got after him. Russ started slinging it, and they were like, "Oh, we can't stop this."
Joe Flacco in the Super Bowl too. Like even
exactly, they did not know how to control the game.
And I think
you
give them
a power outage to get back in it.
Look, I know Jim Harbaugh cut that power line. No one's telling me otherwise. Like he snuck back there with some tools.
He hid the cable cutters and them khakis.
He knew what he was doing, but I'm just saying, we saw with Jalen Hurts, you gave him an outside weapon of any source just so teams have to actually respect outside the numbers. Suddenly things got even better for Jalen Hurts. He turned into MVP. Give Lamar something on the outside to throw to besides the ghost of Hollywood Brown. I think you could see things open up a lot more. Give him a 6'4" receiver. Throw it up
and I bet Jared is kind of leaning towards the same kind of response that I have, but it's like in every single, it's so weird, dude. In every single mock that you see, they've got Jordan Addison, Smith and Jigba, Zay Flowers going to the Ravens, and it's like, this is just Hollywood. This is Hollywood 2.0.
Go get Q.
Yes, it's cool to have a number 2 receiver who is small, who's fast, can cut dudes up when he gets in the open field.
I think Addison's the one, but I agree with your point though.
But yeah, I mean, it's like, all of these mocks have these not undersized, but like, I think you guys know what I'm trying to say when I say, they're these smaller receivers that are not big body dudes like Devontae Adams, like Justin Jefferson.
Like AJ Brown, like DK
AJ Brown is exactly, dude, where it's like these dudes can just bully defensive backs and just find a way to get open. Taking Smith and Jigba, taking Jordan Addison, Zay Flowers, these speedsters who can get on the outside and just fly and go, that's not going to solve your problem. You're going to be back at square one where you were, 2-3 years ago?
Okay, so I was going to say this, right? To bounce off your point here, one, I will go back and say this. Jalen Hurts surpassed Lamar Jackson, the passer, last year without question. The throws he made, Lamar could only pray to hit. And anybody who says otherwise needs to get their head checked. On tape, he's passed them. But when you're talking about these receivers, unless you're going for Q or you're going for Jalen Hyatt, who have or even, I guess I throw Jordan Addison in that category, who are number 1 receiver ceilings, okay? And Jigba is a luxury. Jordan,
I think Zay Flowers can do it in the right offense, but I think Zay Flowers can do it.
Smith and Jigba, Zay Flowers in the correct offense, yes, I will give you that.
I think you could be T.Y. Hilton if you give him like that type of quarterback.
But the problem is you need like a rocket,
which is not the Ravens, but I'm saying you put him in the right spot. Yeah,
you put him in Kansas City, the guy's number 1 receiver.
Sure.
Chargers. Or you put him in fucking Philadelphia, he probably catches 1,000 yards. It doesn't fucking matter. You need a top 10 quarterback to throw him that damn ball. Or Minnesota go alongside KJ Osborne and J. Jeff. But here's the thing. What did I just say? He's number 2 guy. Jackson Smith and Jigma is like getting a Maserati after you have your Honda and your pickup truck. Okay? It's a nice thing to have. He's going to cook up some defense. He's good for 60, 70, 80 yards a game. A 6'1" slot receiver who can cut on a dime. Here's the problem. I don't like that he didn't run the 40 time. I don't like that he didn't do a lot of his measurables. I don't like he never played this year.
Well, he did a couple days ago, man, and they were saying, 4.31 to like 4.
Bullshit.
I think I said it was a 4.48 to a 4.52 was his 40, if I'm not mistaken.
See, I saw
more realistic, okay? Because I watched this dude run an open field. I'm like, there's no way in hell he runs anything more than 4.45.
The point being, though, aside from the Smith and Jigba, talk, is that, look, you need a receiver who can go up and get 50-50 balls because, look, Lamar is an accurate enough passer to obviously be a starting quarterback in the NFL. But for Hollywood Brown, for Jordan Addison, for Zay Flowers, for all of these guys who are smaller and they're fast, and that's kind of their game, is being fast and, blowing by NFL backers, that's just not going to work, man. Because it's so predictable. The offense is just predictable in the fact that Andrews is that number 1 option in the passing game. And then you have a bunch of fast guys around him. And there's no, there's no sort of I guess dual threat would be there's just not the options are limited. That's all I'm trying to say.
He looked
I
pretty
can
good in the
see,
Shane Steichen offense with just throwing it out there, Indianapolis. Just throwing it out there.
I can see Lamar's situation. I can see. I don't know. I think next year. I don't want it to happen, but I think it makes a lot of sense. I think he's going to be a Miami Dolphin. I'm just waiting for this year. We already know Tua's hitting the concussion protocol. He's hitting the IR, whatever he's doing. We know it's happening. It's great that the Miami's backing him, but everybody knows this kid eventually is going to get hurt, and it's really not his fault. It's just medical staff pushing him back out there, but he's going to get hurt again. We all know it's going to happen, and I think Miami's going to wind up moving on from him because he can't stay healthy, which is pretty much Miami's fault, not his. But I think Lamar Jackson is a Miami Dolphin in 2024, and I think that I think the Ravens will, no matter what Lamar does, if he doesn't play, he does play, whatever they do, I think it's going to be a down year in general because what have they done to improve that offense? What receiver have they signed for their quarterback? They have nobody.
I mean, dude, you know, just to quickly, Matt, but it's like, what have they done to bolster the defense, man? I mean, nothing.
They've just let things go. They haven't done anything to improve that team. I think they're in a sense, I think they're just tanking. And I think next year they're going to try and get up and get Caleb Williams or something like that. And I think that could be the quarterback next year.
Oh, I completely forgot. Oh, also, you have Van Dyke coming out next year. You have about 4 or 5.
Drake May.
Yeah. Like, there's like, I did in my head, like I was like counting out the other. I'm like, everyone's talking about this draft class. Yeah, at Stroud. I think Stroud's the only game-ready quarterback in this class.
I would agree. Ready to come in
guys next year.
Just tear it up. You know what I mean?
You have 4 next year. 4 game-ready guys. We named 3 of them.
Absolutely.
There's guaranteed there's one guy out of the Big 12 somewhere who's going to be able to tear. I think. Wait, is it
Bo Nix?
Shut the fuck.
You watch your language now. We will not be taking
Shut your mouth.
Send this guy to timeout again, dude. Relax, man.
No, I've already 3 times with strikeout, and I actually kick him off the show. I'm not going to do that because I don't want to be yelling at me. Listen, there's very few women in this earth I fear. One of them is Matt's fiance. She's a great girl, but man, she terrifies the hell out of me.
Hey, Baltimore, yeah, she does too, to me as well. Baltimore can go and get Stetson Bennett in like the 5th round. Just let him sit.
Come on, man. Relax.
Boys, we rolling that Max Duggan shit. DJ, stop kicking yourself. This is an adult program.
Well, I can't kick him, so I had to kick myself. Like that was out of line.
Wait, you don't.
I don't want to be yelling at me either.
Oh yeah, you don't.
I think it's just funny that this guy's got 2 national championships and he's still like nice booty. It's great.
I mean, well, yeah, and it's
screams
the same reason
New York Jets.
Well, Matt, it's the same reason that people are skeptical about Bryce Young, dude. I mean, because the frame is small, he's a skinny guy, you know, and it's like this dude had the best defense in the country for 2 straight years.
For 2 out of his 3 years he was playing, he literally had like the best roster around him. He never won a national championship.
And he had Todd Monken at OC, who is an NFL proven coordinator who knows what he's doing. Who
did the Ravens replace Roman with?
Todd Monken.
Todd Monken. Oh yes. I mean, yeah. So like you said, he's great.
I think you can't salvage this relationship though.
No.
And that's my thing, Jared, is that look, you're bringing in a guy like Todd Monken who, you know, all of these like Lamar truthers, and this I don't buy into whatsoever. You know, I'm a Lamar truther 100%. I think he's awesome. But people are like, oh yeah, like Todd Monken's going to come in and just completely reinvent this passing game. You're going to see Lamar make throws that he's never made ever before. You're going to be mind blown, this, that, the other. And, you know, I mean, this dude's been a starter for what? Is this his 4th year?
5.
His 5th year. He's been in the league for 6 or 5?
5.
5. Okay, so we've seen the tape, man. It's not going to dramatically change over
There's
one
no
offseason.
like dramatic shift.
And this dude's not going to be making Rodgers, Allen, Mahomes throws. It's you know, that's not happening, right? Like
there's no like drop it in a bucket from 60 kind of throws.
Right, exactly. So Monken is not
humans in the world, duly noted.
Exactly. Like Monken is not going to come in and just reinvent the wheel here and just have this dude like making throws off his back foot, flipping it out there. Like you said, Jared, 60 yards plus, dropping in a bucket to Jordan Addison, dude. And it's just going to be like, oh my God, like what does the rest of the league do? Because now Lamar has like learned to throw. Like, like what are you talking
My
about?
biggest thing about quarterbacks, it's like, I love athletic ability, man. It's a great way to get out of sacks, but you cut off every quarterback's legs, and they gotta throw, or you make them, put them in cement. They can only stay in the pocket. They gotta whip it. Jalen Hurts is still a top 10 quarterback. Lamar's bottom 10. Like that's what it is. Like that's why I look at guys like Hurts, Allen, Mahomes, Burrow, Rodgers, and Justin Herbert. These guys, they can drop it in a bucket from 50. They can throw it all around the yard. They don't need to improvise. And I want you guys to remember, Hurts was the third most or fourth most accurate quarterback from the pocket. It's not like he runs to save a play, not to make a play. That's the difference, folks.
Well, weirdly enough, Hurts was one of the worst passers outside the pocket last year. So if you got him out of the pocket, he pretty much had to run, as ironically enough as it was.
Oh, yeah, no. Hurts was never been known as a Russell Wilson level, like, hey, off my back foot running sideways.
I'll flip it sidearm like Mahomes and make a baseball throw.
He was the weird one where he's a running quarterback, but you want him running because it takes away the pass. It felt like it was
I feel like, you know what? Everyone's wondering what the next jump is for Jalen Hurts. What his new trick is. It's gonna be he's gonna be able to like whip it 40 to AJ across his body or some shit.
Right. He's gonna start making the Mahomes and Josh Allen throws where it's like, oh my goodness, let me like back that play up on my TV where this dude just made like, you know, a 25-yard pass in a window that was this big, the size of my head.
Exactly.
Like in a second. You know what I mean?
Listen, that throw, even though it was dropped, that throw to Devontae against the Niners was beautiful.
Cats, baby, up 5.5 to play, everybody. This is getting very serious.
Oh God, I can't do this. My parlay shot the shit if this happens.
If you're not tuned in, tap in now because this is
all right.
Pat's on an 8-0.
Don't tell them that. They should be watching this game, you bastard. All right, watching this show. All right, we're gonna get to it because we've been waiting all day. Matt, you want to take lead on our favorite segment. We're no clown question this week because we kind of did that on Tuesday. It's time for the Corner Booth Dartboard, presented by the amazing people at candydips.com. Promo code BULLYUP20 for 20% off. This is the Mocha Caffeine, one of my favorites. I rock this shit all the time. Amazing company. They are one of the coolest people ever. Official sponsor of the Corner Booth Dartboard and Belly Up Sports and the Corner Booth Podcast. Matthew, floor is yours. Who you want to rip on today?
It's not really a rip, but it can get into a kind of a rip. It's 50-50. I'm going with Elijah Moore. So a little backtrack on this guy. So about 5 months ago, Elijah Moore comes out, requests a trade from the team, cites that it's due to lack of targets. I don't know what you want. I'm giving you Zach Wilson. He averages 140 yards a game. I don't know what you want. I'm sorry. This is the best I got for you. Mike White can't stay on the field. Just deal with it. I don't know what to tell you. So he wants a trade. 5 months or 6 months later, he gets what he wants, and he comes out and says, "I'm shocked. I'm surprised. It came out of nowhere. I don't know why you were shocked or surprised. You just asked for this like 5 months ago. Like unless you told him, hey, never mind, you got what you wanted." So Elijah Moore in his illustrious 27-game career so far with the Jets, and just in general in the NFL, he's had 27 games in his career so far. 142 targets, 80 receptions, 984 yards, and 6 touchdowns. Mecole Hardman in the last 25 games of his career, 117 targets, 84 receptions, 990 yards, 6 touchdowns. Same amount of touchdowns, 6 more receiving yards, 4 more receptions. So my thing was, I thought Hardman was replacing Berrios. I mean, I'm not saying he's not. He is. He's going to be the special teams guy, but he's got similar stats to Elijah Moore. It's almost as if you just replace Elijah Moore with another Elijah Moore, just maybe a little faster, maybe a few years older. But at the end of the day, I think they got the maximum value they can get for him. I mean, the guy's got 984 career yards. He's never had more than 500 and 530 something receiving yards in his career, 5 touchdowns in a season is career high. I mean, it's a little bit, it's much in my opinion that we gave up a third with him to get the second, but at the end of the day, we got 2 back-to-back second round picks. We pretty much got what we drafted him with is what we got back in return. So I'm not complaining at the end of the day. I'm very happy with the direction this team's going in. I think we're going to be just fine. But I'm throwing him on there. I don't know. I mean, he got what he wanted. He had a very classy farewell. Everything's good. Michael Carter, for some reason, is very upset. He didn't want him to go. He's like, nobody knows the real story. It's none of nobody's business, but not everything you see and hear is what goes on behind the scenes. He is then also going on a blocking spree for anybody saying Zeke and Breece Hall would be a good running back tandem. So he is blocking everybody, so beware. But back to Elijah Moore. I mean, I hope for the best for him. He said that he's excited to play with Watson, who Watson in his 6 games with Cleveland has a 3-3 record with a 58% completion percentage, 1,100 yards, and 7 touchdowns with 5 interceptions, which the average of that is 183 yards a game with a touchdown and interception per game. So I hope he enjoys Zach Wilson-esque stats heading into next year.
I think Watson will improve, but he'll never be the same he was in Houston.
Yeah, I think those 2 years off really hurt him, and I think it's going to take a while for him to get back into the swing of it. 1.5 years, yeah. But we've seen the trend of guys taking that year off at any position and it never really works out. So,
but Cam Newton says a bunch of randoms are getting jobs and he can't, though, guys.
Listen, that man might have a really impressive pro day, but what I've seen from him in the last 2 years in the league.
Did you hear what Pac-Man said on McAfee? Because apparently he made some phone calls because he didn't buy it. He said, dude, he was overthrowing guys left and right. It's just you didn't see it on video.
I mean, some of those throws he was making, like you could see the guy having to stop to catch it, then run. So I'm like, I don't know. It gave me vibes of when Tua was throwing the deep ball to Tyreek and he had to come back to catch it.
Or when Kaepernick did that pro day where the guy had to stop on a go route and Kaepernick had a beer gut. I'm like, come on, guys. What are we doing here?
Yeah, but that's my dartboard.
I'm all for giving somebody a job if they've earned it, but fuck, man, you're not making this easy on me because I want to rip your ass.
Yeah.
All right, Mace, I know you wanted to talk about Mr. Rattler. Floor is yours.
Yeah. So for those who didn't hear, I don't remember exactly what podcast it was on. I think it was Bussin' with the Boys. They had Rattler on, and they were just kind of, talking to him, whatever, asking him about long-term goals, whatever it might be. And he was kind of talking about, the NFL in his future, getting drafted, playing in the NFL. And, for a while, with the run of Baker Mayfield, Kyler, Jalen Hurts, followed by Rattler, obviously those first 3 quarterbacks, I think it's safe to say they were successful in the NFL. All 3 are starters in the NFL. Kyler's hurt right now, but all 3 of those dudes are going to be starters next year at some point in the NFL. Mm-hmm. Both highly, highly successful at OU. All 3 winning Big 12 championships. Heisman Trophy winners. Jalen Hurts was a runner-up at OU. Really, really successful guys, like I said. So I think Taylor Lewan asked him, how do you feel towards Oklahoma? And how would you feel if they sort of quote, claimed you if you did well in the NFL, if you were successful in the NFL? And he said, I hope they don't claim me. I don't know why they would. And I just kind of took that as a shot towards OU and OU fans. And I just want to say, Spencer, if you ever hear this, man, the feeling is quite mutual, my friend. Thank you for the 6th consecutive Big 12 championship. We will forever thank you for that. The Texas win that year, the Oklahoma State win that year. We will always thank you for that. But as I told several of my friends, it doesn't take an idiot to know or see that you got benched for the better player in Caleb Williams that year. We all saw what he did that year in 2021.
That Texas game. Oh,
Exactly, man. That's all you need to look at. And then obviously last year, at a different school at USC, first year, different personnel, Heisman Trophy winner, right? Borderline playoff team, Pac-12 championship appearance, highly successful, going to be an NFL star someday. So I just think it's very unnecessary. Personally, I thought the question was stupid. I don't know why, OU fans would claim this dude when he transferred away and had kind of no interest. I think even if Lincoln wouldn't have left, I don't know why he would have come back, because if Lincoln would have stayed, Caleb Williams would obviously be the starter last year and then most likely this upcoming year as well. But just kind of ridiculous. Best of luck. Hope you do well this season. Hope you do well in the NFL, but I don't think OU fans will be claiming, my friend.
Fair enough. DJ, you have anybody throw on here tonight? Because I'm actually pretty happy, so I'm not going to throw anybody on here.
Real quick before I get to that, did you ever notice how Spencer Rattler and Caleb Williams both left Oklahoma for a USC? They just went to opposite ends of the country to do it.
Yes, and one did very well, and the other did not do very well.
Listen, Rattler was okay.
He had one good win
down the stretch.
They did beat Tennessee.
And the game after that was pretty nice too. Like he's played himself into potentially drafted next year. We'll have to wait and see compared to where he was.
Played himself from undrafted to 5th or 6th rounder. If he plays good this year, he may be up into the 4th, 3rd, 2nd.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see. I still hate his face, but that's a whole different.
The problem is he's in a loaded quarterback room. That's the problem for next year.
Exactly. He's gonna have to pull something out, but I don't really have much for the dartboard. I'll keep mine quick and easy. I'm just gonna harp back on we are in this Lamar Jackson situation because of the Ravens front office. So I'm going to throw a dart at them because you could have signed him after the 2021 season or after the 2020 season when Josh Allen got his extension. After Lamar threw 26 touchdowns and 1,000 rushing yards, you could have signed him before Deshaun Watson got that obnoxious deal for no reason. Lamar, you could have avoided this. Now we're all stuck here, and now Lamar has a mobile fitness gym guy speaking on behalf of him, and now we have false hope of him going to the Colts, and now it's just a mess. So the Ravens front office can catch a dart just for putting us in this situation. And Jimmy Haslam and the Browns could catch a side dart for it too.
See, I have a split personality here. I want to throw Chauncey Gardner-Johnson right here. But he did retweet our boy TJ from the Saints Report. Saints, whatever. The Saints podcast Billy just picked up. My boy TJ Jones. Cool dude. He actually had Gardner-Johnson retweet his video, which is awesome. So shout out to TJ. Chauncey, I just have an issue with you taking shots at the Eagles, saying all of us fans are going after you. No, we all love you. You gave us a great season, an entertaining season. My biggest issue with you was you were now taking shots at us like we did something to you when you over-predicted your market and then got butthurt when nobody threw you the money you wanted. And then you took the lines on a one-year deal just to get knocked out in the first round of the playoffs.
Unless they get Lamar Jackson, then we'll see.
I doubt it. But that's it for the Corner Booth today, folks. Shout out to our boy DJ Stewart of the High Low Sports Podcast. You can check them out. They did an episode last night, which I found was pre-recorded. Feelings hurt.
Blame Kelsey for being in Florida, playing around at Star Wars Land and Disney and all that stuff. That's his fault.
Listen, man, you got out the big nerd work, man. I'm jealous. Of course, for myself, Matt and Mason. Mace, what's the score right now?
So just going to a TV commercial. I believe, yeah. So 80-75 K-State. We got just over 2 minutes to play. I mean, this is as good as it gets, man.
I hate this shit. Well, I'm gonna go finish killing the 6-pack of Coors Banquet. Y'all have a good night. Enjoy yourselves. We will see you Monday for another Corner Booth podcast with me, Mace, and Matt, doing our first mock draft of the year. It's gonna be a fun time. Also, DJ, once again, brother, thank you for filling in. We appreciate you as much as always.
Always a pleasure. Can't wait. And by the way, if you guys are checking out, our mock draft that me and Kelsey did was the one that aired yesterday as well, too, where we alternated picks. And we included trades, and some of us pulled some wacky stuff out of our ass. So go check that one out as well.
Anything involving our team?
What was that?
Anything involving our teams?
We just gave your pick to the Packers, assuming it went for Aaron Rodgers.
We ain't giving up. Anyways.
Matt, living your little fairy tale land. It's all good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to our sponsors. Shout out to our amazing sponsors, candidates, Manscaped, and YeatsOfficial.com. We appreciate y'all. Make sure you check out BellyUpSports.com for all your great articles, content, and much more. We appreciate you. Peace.